Today we are going to discuss the process of generalizing. What do you mean by generalizing? Generalizing is recording the transaction in a book called journal. That is called generalizing. That process is known as generalizing. We have to follow various steps to record the transaction in a book called journal. What are the steps that need to be followed at the time of recording the transaction? The recording the transaction is nothing but journal entry. Recording the transaction in the book called journal is known as journal entry. Generalize the following transactions. Step number 1. Identify the number of accounts. Identify the number of accounts involved in the transaction. Identify the number of accounts. How many accounts are involved in the particular transaction? First you should identify. That is the first step you should follow at the time of writing the journal entry. Step number 2. After identifying the number of accounts, then identify the nature of account. Identify the nature of account. What do you mean by this? Identify the nature account means whether it is a personal, real or nominal. That you should identify. Identify the nature of account or type of account. Step number 3. Apply the rules of accounts. After identifying the type of account, apply the rules of accounts. These are the steps that have to be followed at the time of writing the journal entry. I will explain this step 1, step 2, step 3 with the help of some examples. Let us see how to record the transactions. First example what I am taking here is goods sold to Ravi. Goods sold to Ravi. Rupees 5,000. Now before you write the journal entry in journal, first identify what are the debit and credit part by applying the rules of accounts. Now in this transaction, first to identify the number of accounts. Ravi is one account, goods is one account. So step number 1 has been followed. Step number 1 is identifying the number of accounts. How many accounts are there? 2 accounts are there. This is one account, this is second account. So step number 1 is followed. Next to follow step number 2. Step number 2 is identifying the nature of account, means type of account. Goods comes under which account? Which type of account? Real account. Ravi comes under personal account. So you identified the types of accounts. Then you apply the rules of accounts. Rules of account means real account. What are the rules of real account? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. We are selling goods. Selling goods means goods are going from the business. You should always think from the business point of view, not from Ravi's point of view. We are selling goods to Ravi. That means the goods are going out of the business. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Goods are going out. So goods should be credited. So you should apply the rules of real account because goods comes under real account. Then Ravi comes under personal account. Then apply the rules of personal account. Personal account rules are debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now when you are sending goods to Ravi, Ravi is receiving the goods. So debit the receiver. So Ravi should be debited. First like this, you should follow all the 3 steps. Identify the number of accounts. This is step 1. Step 2 is identifying the nature of account, whether it's a personal account, real account or nominal account. Step 3 is applying the rules of accounts, with the help of which we can know which account should be debited and which account should be credited. Now, second example I am taking here. Goods purchased for cash. Goods purchased for cash. We will see how to write the journal entry in the next section, next class. First, try to identify which account should be debited and which account should be credited. Goods purchased for cash. Rupees 6,000. Now again step number 1, identify the number of accounts. Goods is one account, cash is one account, second account. So first account, second account. So you identified the number of accounts. There are 2 accounts are involved in this transaction. Step number 2 is what? What are they? What is the nature of that accounts? Goods comes under again real account. Cash, remember, is very very important. It is an asset. Cash is an asset, remember. It comes under real account. Both are real account only, but one is good and one is asset. So step number 2 is what? We identified the nature of accounts. Now what is step number 3? Apply the rules of accounts. Now when a goods are purchased for cash, goods will come into the business. So what are the real account rules? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So when you purchase goods, goods are coming into the business. So goods should be debited. When goods are coming into the business, we should make payment because goods are purchased for cash. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. When goods are purchased, goods are coming into the business, and in turn what is going out? Cash is going out. So cash should be credited. Like this, you should identify the number of accounts, then types of accounts, then rules of accounts. Which account should be debited and which account should be credited. Then third one I am writing, goods sold for cash. Goods sold for cash. Rupees 10,000. Again same step should be followed. Goods is one account, cash is another account. Again 2 accounts. 1, 2. Next, identify the nature of account. Again goods comes under real account, cash also comes under real account only because cash is an asset. Now apply the rules of accounts. Now when goods are selling, from the business point of view, from our point of view, goods are going out. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So goods are going out. So credit goods. Instead of crediting goods, we should credit sales. Remember, whenever goods are going out, instead of crediting goods, credit sales. In the similar way, when goods are, they should be debited, debit purchases. This is an important point here. Now cash is coming into the business now. Because goods are going out. In turn, cash is coming into the business. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Because both are real accounts only. So cash should be debited. Like this, you should apply the process of recording the transaction. The 3 steps should be followed. After this only, we will make a record of this in the journal format. That part we will discuss later. These are the 3 examples which I see now. Now 4th one we are going now. 4th one, very very important example. Cash deposited into bank. 4th example, 4th transaction which has to be recorded is cash deposited into bank. 4th one is cash deposited into bank. Cash deposited into bank. Rupees 5,000. Now again, what is step number 1? Identify the number of accounts. Here cash is one account. Remember, bank is also an account. Second account. So step number 1 is how many accounts are there in this transaction? 2 accounts are there. One is cash, one is bank. Step number 2 is what? Identify the nature of account. Cash is an asset. Assets comes under real account. Remember, bank also comes under personal account. Bank comes under personal account. But it is not a natural person like Rama, Krishna. Bank is a artificial person. Very important. Whatever it may be, artificial person or natural person, both comes under personal account only. Rules are same. Rules of personal accounts same. You should apply in the case of natural person or artificial person. So bank comes under artificial person. Personal account. Step number 3 is what? We identify the nature of account. Step number 3 is applying the rules of accounts. Now when you're depositing cash into bank, cash is going out of the business. From out of the business means cash is going from business to our bank only. So cash is going out. Real account rules. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash is going out. Cash should be credited because it is going out of the business. Then where it is going? Into the bank. So bank comes under artificial person. Whatever it may be, natural or artificial, rules are same. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Whatever the cash we are depositing into bank, bank is receiving that cash. So bank should be debited. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Bank should be debited because bank is receiving our cash. We are putting money into bank. So naturally we are giving money into the bank is a receiver. Cash is real account. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Since cash is going out, I credited cash. This is a very important transaction which we come across in our daily life also. We will be depositing cash into bank, we will be withdrawing cash from bank. Now let us take an example of cash withdrawn from bank. This is the fifth illustration I am doing. Fifth example I am taking. Cash withdrawn from bank. Cash withdrawn from bank. Rupees 9,000. Now, how many accounts are there? First to identify. Cash is one account. Again, bank also one account. First account, second. Two accounts are involved in this transaction. Step number 1 is completed. We followed step number 1. Then we should follow step number 2. What is step number 2? Identifying the nature of account. Nature of account means type of account. Whatever the accounts we have identified here, whether they belongs to personal account, real account or nominal account. Cash is asset. All goods and assets comes under real account. Bank is an artificial person. Whatever it may be, it comes under personal account. Rules are same for natural person or artificial person. Now, third step number 3 is apply the rules of account. Now when cash we are taking from bank, so we are receiving cash. Cash is coming into the business. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Real account rules. So cash is coming into the business. Cash should be debited. Personal account. Whether bank is receiving the cash or bank is giving the cash. Bank is giving the cash because we are withdrawing, we are taking money from the bank. When you are taking money from the bank means bank is the giver. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. Bank should be credited. This is also very important transaction. Nowadays we are withdrawing cash from bank with the help of our debit cards, ATM cards. Debit cards. This is the fifth illustration. Again, sixth one also very important transaction, that is rent paid. Rent paid rupees 3,000. If nothing is mentioned in the transaction, whether we are paying rent in the form of cash or in the form of check, nothing mentioned means default assumption, you should assume that the mode of payment is by cash only. You should write here. Rent paid by cash, you should write like this. They don't give the problem also, you should make a note like this. You paid rent by cash. The mode of payment is cash. Now, first you should identify what are the accounts here. One is rent, one is cash. Even this is a hidden account which will not be mentioned in the transaction sometimes. Then you should assume that the mode of payment is rent paid by cash only. Now, what is the nature of account? First you identify the rent. Rent paid. Paid means what? It is a payment. Paid means payment. It means rent is an expense. Rent is an expense because we are paying rent. Now all expenses, losses, incomes and gains comes under nominal account. Before identifying the nature of account, just remember the types of accounts. What information is contained in the personal account, what information is contained in the real account, what information is contained in the nominal account. What information will be contained in the nominal account? all expenses, losses and gains. So rent comes under nominal account because it is an expenditure. Cash, I think you are all aware of this. Cash is asset. Assets comes under real account. Now apply the rules of accounts. Now I am paying rent by cash. Now rent is an expenditure. As per nominal account, all expenses should be debited. So rent should be debited. Now cash is asset. When you are making any payment, whether it is a rent, cash or whatever it may be, commission or whatever it may be, when you are making any payment, cash will go out of the business. We are making payment. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash should be credited. You can apply the rule also, the rule which I mentioned, you deal. Debit all expenses, assets, losses. Rent is an expenditure, so I am debiting the rent. This concept also I can follow, which I told in the last previous classes. So these are the examples of, or some of the examples I have given for how to record the transaction by following the 3 steps in journal. In the next class, we are going to discuss how these transactions, whatever transaction you identified, which part is debit, which part is credit. After identifying, we'll present this in the format. That format is known as journal. That part we'll discuss in the next class. If you like my channel, please subscribe.